This is in response to Dr. Paul Krugman's article in the New York Times on Friday, February 26, 2016, Twilight of the Apparatchiks. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Now, if you are an Apparatchik, then it means that you basically obey. You're a big-time follower. You follow what you're told to do. Another term would be called a right-wing authoritarian. But what has come about with the Trump phenomenon is that these Apparatchiks, these loyalists, these people who have been following the Republican elite, the corporatists, they have an incredible amount of a lack of self-awareness as to what has really been going on with this Trump phenomenon. Now, the Republicans have been doing for the last 35 or 40 years what Trump has been doing. They've been doing the dog whistles. Ronald Reagan came out talking about some strapling young buck and the welfare queens. And I remember, this is what I remember, 35 years ago or more, there was something on 60 Minutes where I know what they did is they waited in the parking lot of an unemployment office and they waited for some black person to show up in a Cadillac. And then when that person came out of the unemployment office, they went after him. And of course, that person might have had a legitimate job that they were unemployed from. And that might have not been a brand new Cadillac, so to speak. But the emphasis of the whole thing, this is what Ronald Reagan was talking about, welfare queens. So if you're black and you show up at an unemployment office with a Cadillac, that's the dog whistle that they're talking about. And of course, Trump has been exceptionally xenophobic. He has been exceptionally, racist in all of his terms. And of course, all of those dog whistles that the Republicans have been talking about for the last 35 or 40 years is basically this white against black. We're giving all this money to the blacks, so we can't give it to you. So you poor little white people who are blue collar, you're getting screwed. But don't worry, vote for us and we'll screw you even more. So they've been playing this dog whistle, and now Trump has come out in the open about the whole thing. And what we've found out about this, because Trump has not been playing the orthodoxy of the whole thing. Yes, he's been a racist. Yes, he's been xenophobic. But he actually, said that maybe we shouldn't be dropping Social Security. Which, of course, if you're obeying the orthodoxy, you got to get rid of Social Security. And of course, what these the hierarchy of the Republican Party are finding out is, the rank and file, if you want to call them that, the followers, they don't really care about conservatism that much. They're just playing to the dog whistles. So when Bush got reelected in 2004, it was even before he took his oath in 2005. He wanted to get rid of Social Security. It hadn't come up in the It hadn't come up in the election cycle of 2004, but as soon as he got reelected, he was going to get rid of it. And guess what? It wasn't just the Democrats who knocked it down. It was the Republicans who knocked it down. And of course, Trump committed the faux pas, supposedly, when he basically said that Bush lied us into the Iraq War. And again, there hasn't been that kind of pushback against that. Now, it may be from the elites, but the people down the line, they know that this has happened. They know that Bush lied, so to speak. And of course, the question is, why have the faithful followers of the Republicans and the corporatists, why have they been so unaware of what is really going on with the people who usually or normally are voting for them, but now they're going to Trump in droves but Trump isn't saying the things that they want him to say. And of course, it's spelled out in a nutshell. How would you like to say, the conservative right-wing scheme machine, the right-wing outrage machine, is a very safe and a very profitable business opportunity for anyone who goes into that line of business, let's say. All you've had to do for the last 35 years is pledge allegiance to the contrived right-wing outrage of the day. Pledge allegiance to getting rid of Social Security, getting rid of, what other types of, getting rid of the Department of Education, etc. So it's been safe. It's been profitable. And they also, those who are elected are in very, very safe districts. So the bubble that they have has been just getting wider and wider. Whereas to the point that anything they say, as we would take a look at Steve King in Iowa and Louis Gohmert in Texas, anything that they say, it doesn't affect them at all because of the bubble that they live in. And of course, that whole industry, the right-wing conservative think tanks, one of the more well-known names is William Kristol. And of course, what Dr. Krugman points out is that, when you're in that industry, the right-wing industry, it doesn't make any difference how many times you fuck up. You're just going to have the same job over and over again. Now, Kristol's father was a big conservative. He was more of the conservative, limited government, don't keep spending down type of thing, big military. But Kristol is more of a Tea Party kind of guy. But he has been wrong. And here's his biggest one. He was on some show, probably Fox, and they actually asked him, well, what about the difference between the Sunni and the Shia in Iraq? And this was just before the Iraq war started. And he says, oh, well, they get along well. There won't be any problem with that. And of course, his guy has been wrong consistently. But again, he makes a couple $100,000 a year. He has a safe writing profession. They go out and they follow in the same circles. They come up with these ideas. They sound great. They throw them on TV. It sounds great to all the people who believe exactly like they believe. And of course, it doesn't really make any difference to the rank and file, and that's what they're finding out right now. And then, of course, the big thing is about all of this, is this too little, too late to get rid of Trump? Because they're going to, and here's one other thing, is the Koch brothers and others, okay, they didn't want to give money to Marco Rubio right away because they didn't know if he would actually make it. They put in money to Jeb right away at the beginning, think that he'd blow it away, and that didn't happen. No one wants to give any money to Cruz, so to speak. And of course, now they only have Rubio left to give money to, so to speak. And is it enough? Is it too little, too late? And the other part is they're well aware is that they can put a lot of lipstick on the pig if Rubio becomes the nominee. They can't put any lipstick on Trump because he is who he is. And of course, 60% of the Republican voters are against him. But that 40%, they're big time. They're following him. They like it. And of course, it's all against the orthodoxy of the Republican Party. And will it come to bite him in the ass come November?